Welcome to the latest Apple Watch Ultra video. In this video, we'll be uncovering some of the most hidden features and some less known features that this powerful device can do. Everything from not just taking screenshots and also how to disable that, but also how to remotely control your iPhone's camera, and I'll be showing you other clever ways to really get the most out of this amazing device. So go ahead and sit back, relax, and get ready to discover some of these amazing hidden gems that can be found on this device. Let's get started. Now, the Wayfinder watch face is extremely advanced, not only for the night mode capability by simply moving the digital crown like so, but if you actually tap, you can actually switch to this different wheel, because if you look closely, this ring will actually give you information revolving around degrees and elevation. And yes, the Wayfinder is only exclusive to the Apple Watch Ultra, so the other Apple Watches don't have this. But something that is shared upon other Apple Watches, in case you don't know, and it's disabled by default, is the capability to have haptic chimes enabled. With haptic chimes enabled, this basically allows you to actually receive haptic feedback or hear sound like a grandfather clock every time a new hour has gone by. So if it's 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, you'll continuously receive feedback. So to enable this, you have to go in your Apple Watch settings, go into clock, and here is where you can actually go ahead and go in and enable this. And not only that, you can also change the sounds too. So you can switch it between birds or bells, or if you have your device on silent, you'll receive a haptic feedback. That's the personal preference I like to select. Now, since we're still on the subject on clock, if you like to offset the time from your iPhone's clock to the Apple Watch, you totally can do so, just like a real watch. To actually go ahead and do this, same goes, you have to go into the clock section, and here on the very top, this is where you can actually select offset to either plus 5 minutes if you like to be ahead of time for your appointment and stuff. All personal preference, but you do have the freedom to do so. Now, another feature I like to have personally enabled that's off by default is the hand washing timer. If you actually scroll down in the settings section, look for hand wash, here is where you go ahead and enable this function. Now, based off the motion, the sound, the Apple Watch is able to utilize the built-in sensors to identify that you're washing your hands, and when it does that, and it determines that you are indeed washing your hands, it's going to automatically start a 20-second timer, and will actually congratulate you by vibrating your wrist or playing loud sound if you have it off silent, telling you 20 seconds has gone by, and 20 seconds are recommended amount to really clean up your hands and kill all the nasty bacteria. Now, you may have noticed that the digital crown on my Apple Watch is not facing the traditional way as advertised. This is all personal preference, and you have the capability to actually switch the sides when you first set up your watch. If you like to reverse to it or do this change for yourself and see which side feels more comfortable for you, you can totally do so. And the benefit to this is, especially if you do a lot of weight training, because I like to actually move my wrist like this with the barbell, and sometimes the bumper and the digital crown will just get in the way. So instead of falsely activating Siri when I'm bench pressing or something like that, along that nature, that's why I reversed and I placed it on this side. And I also find this position more comfortable, especially if you snowboard as well. Whenever you have those little hard lands and you have to catch yourself, yeah, this prevents me from my glove pushing the button. So for falls in other sports, I'm sure this will come in handy. So to change this, one more time, you have to go in settings, go into general, look for orientation. Here is where you can actually select the digital crown to be the right or left side, and once you do this, you're going to have to swap the band to fit on accordingly. Now, since we're still on the subject of false pressing the power button or digital crown, sometimes you may be tired of accidentally taking a bunch of screenshots. If that is you, you can also disable this. You can find it in the settings section and go into general, scroll down to screenshots, and here's where you can actually quickly go ahead and turn that off. Now, even though we switched the orientation of our Apple Watch, you may still falsely press on the action button, or maybe you like to customize the action button to do something else. Don't forget, to customize the action button, it's easier if you just go into the main app on your iPhone, just launch the Watch app, and just scroll down to where you see action button. My action currently is workout, so as soon as I press on this, it will actually take me to the workout app quickly, and I can select my workout app if I want. If you like to customize this even more, you can actually adjust the first press open workout action to start a workout, and you can select between any of the workouts you currently have been using previously. So elliptical, so now if I press on the action button, it's automatically going to start my elliptical workout. Now, if you like to start another workout, you don't have to actually end the workout. This is where a lot of people always forget. is if you like to continue your workout and also continue tracking your data instead of pausing it for a couple of seconds, you can always just slide here, switch to this page, and just tap the plus icon right here and select the next workout you would like to continue. But back on the Apple Watch app, again, you have all these other options, and if you like to customize something, you can always create a shortcut using the Shortcut app. There's a lot of video tutorials how to do so. I'll link an article of a quick guide that I found that's super user-friendly on how to create custom shortcuts, so you can launch music and stuff like that on your iPhone by pressing that button. But if you like to turn it off entirely, just tap on None. Now, next few hidden features can be found in Control Center. And one of the most important ones is being aware of how to enable the long-lasting Apple advertised 60 hours of battery life. If you'd like to go ahead and enable this, you can find this in the battery life percentage section. If you tap right here, this is what's required to enable to actually achieve that 60 hours under a single charge. So when you enable this, it'll give you a quick heads up on some of the things it's going to turn off. So yeah, it's going to make your Apple Watch somewhat limited, like the heart rate sensor monitoring and all that good stuff, data tracking. If you're working out, it's going to be somewhat paused. It's not going to do it as consistently as much as possible like it traditionally is. So when you enable this, it's somewhat limited to your Apple Watch, but you still have full usability. So in other words, it's just going to put your Apple Watch in a low power mode where it doesn't utilize its sensors consistently. But that's what you got to do to enable to actually achieve the most battery life out of this Apple Watch. Now, other nifty things to know about the Control Center is if you go all the way down here, you can actually edit and remove some of these stuff if you really don't want it. And in addition to that, on the Wi-Fi section, if you're just using your Apple Watch Ultra as your main iPhone, so you have LTE and stuff like that enabled, if you actually long press on the Wi-Fi, you can actually quickly select a Wi-Fi network and allow the Apple Watch to connect to Wi-Fi if there's Wi-Fi available, so you could actually preserve a little bit of extra battery life instead of relying on LTE for data. Now, as for the camera control, if you actually launch the camera app on the Apple Watch, this will automatically launch the camera on the paired iPhone. And here, depending on the mode you're in, but if you actually use the digital crown, you can actually zoom out and zoom in. And if you have the correct strap on, that sounds weird, you can actually strap the Apple Watch band like so on the Apple Watch and utilize this as a viewfinder. So it's an excellent trick if you're trying to get a group photo or something like that. It's just unfortunately, if you like to switch between video or photo mode, you have to manually grab the iPhone and switch to it right here, and then it'll update on the Apple Watch. It's a nifty tool, trust me. Now, if you long press on the power button, this will give you access to a couple of unique things. One, it gives you quick access to your siren, your medical ID, which you could go ahead and set up in your health app. Compass backtracking, this is where you can actually go in and manually enable this. So if you like to track a hike, run, or something like that, or put markers down if your vehicle's park location or a campsite, you totally can do so. Just tap the little foot icon right here, and it will actually begin tracking. It's pretty cool. Definitely check it out. And it's pretty accurate too. And then you can delete or select retrack. And then you also have the longitude and elevation if you tap right here. But back in the power button, another thing to definitely be aware of course, you have your emergency SOS right here. But to turn off the Apple Watch, you could just tap the power button up here, the icon, and slide. And even though the Apple Watch is turned off, if you actually tap on the digital crown and wait a couple of seconds, it'll still display the time. So even when it's in its off stage, it'll still show you the time. Not bad. Aside from that, there you guys have it. Those are some very useful hidden features that not a lot of people know about that the Apple Watch Ultra can also do, like the hand washing and such. So if you got some good useful information on this video, you know what to do. Really appreciate it if you guys leave this video a like. Those help me out a lot. And get subscribed, especially if you enjoy a lot of tech videos just like this. Aside from that, thanks so much for watching. Take care, and I'll catch you all in the next one. See ya.